Now, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network talking to you about the massive immigration policy that's coming on this planet, and especially in America. Now, Silicon Valley's Mark Zuckerberg is having such a tough time getting skilled workers. He's actually taking part in immigration reform throughout the galaxy, and especially in America. And one of the projects he has is building a floating city off the coast of California to help bring in skilled immigrants. What do you think about Mark Zuckerberg's immigration reforms and them building a floating city off the coast of California?
I'm kind of up and down on that one. I mean, it's kind of cool bringing, hiring these educated people and immigrants from around the world. But then again, I think that we need to be educating people here in the United States more to help out. And if we got more probably school scholarships or things like that, help them out to get educations, and I think that would be a little bit better.
Now, could we possibly say discrimination against immigrants is also like the discrimination against mutants? Because mutants have a tough time, because they were simply born different. Now, simply because you're born somewhere else and you have to immigrate here, is immigration reform actually another type of mutant discrimination?
You could say so, yeah, I would say so.
So what can be done for immigration reform and actually keeping skilled workers? Because I know there's quite the debate with unskilled workers. We don't want the unskilled, but there's a shortage of the skilled workers. What can we do to bring in more skilled workers?
I would say if we did that, we would need to legalize them so that they would be able to pay taxes as long with as everybody else and contribute to all of our taxes and things that we need to pay for. So as long as they did that, I see no problem with it.
All right, so in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks throughout the galaxy?
Any mutants out there, come to Xavier School, we'll hook you up.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network signing out. This is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, coming to you because of the recent immigration policy that Mark Zuckerberg is bringing forward to folks these days. Now, top Silicon Valley CEOs are having a tough time finding skilled workers. Now, Superman, you're an immigrant. What do you have to say to the folks on this planet about immigration policy? Because, the American way, is about immigrants, but we tend to be kind of negative on immigration policy today. What do you have to say about this country's immigration policy?
I think this country's immigration policy needs to go back to where we first started, where we allowed immigrants into the country, because it enriched the country with people from different cultures and people with different skills. And now that we've kind of closed the gates to immigration, it's not as powerful as it was before.
Now, this country is rather negative against unskilled labor. That's part of the major debate. But, we had the unskilled Chinese and Irish build the railroads and stuff like that. And, we're kind of negative against the unskilled. But Mark Zuckerberg and other Silicon Valley are pushing for skilled labor. Do you think we have a discrepancy between unskilled immigrants and skilled immigrants? Which should we really be taking on? Skilled, unskilled, or what do you think about the gap between skilled and unskilled immigrants?
Well, I think the gap between unskilled and skilled can be filled by teaching those people that are here, that are immigrants, that are unskilled, the skills they need to become skilled. Now, that would solve the problem.
One of the things with training people is this country trains people in college, and then as soon as they get their college degree, they kick out all these college graduates and send them back to their countries. What do you think about them kicking out the college graduates and sending them back to wherever they came from? Or will they one day send you back to your own planet?
Well, my planet's gone, so they can't send me back. But I think that the idea is if they should require the students to spend a certain amount of time here after they graduate to sort of pay back the service that they got from the education they got working for a local company. And then 2 years, 3 years down the line, give them the opportunity to go back to their country if they want to. But they should be able to be responsible enough to give back to the country where they got trained.
Now, some CEOs are actually building a floating city 30 miles off the coast of Silicon Valley because they can't find enough skilled labor for Silicon Valley. What do you think about trying to build a separate floating city because they just can't get around this tough immigration policy? What do you think about people building their own floating city?
I think it's more like building their own country, because when you get outside of the international waters, then you really aren't affected by anything that the United States has as far as taxes and everything else. So I think that's wrong.
Okay, so in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say about this or any other subject?
Nope, just keep watching and find out more information from this man who knows what's happening.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent from the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now this is Clark Kent, I'm the Predatory Lender with Darth Revan. Now, Mark Zuckerberg is on quite a bit of campaign about immigration throughout the empire, because many people in America, can't get skilled workers, and they're having trouble with this country's immigration policy. What do you have to say about the immigration policy in America today?
Empire needs more troops. Can't necessarily, recruiting doesn't necessarily work, so we need them any way we can get them.
Now, how can you get more troops for your empire? We know that, you've grown so many troops on one planet, but how do you get more skilled troops from other planets?
We recruit them and train them.
Now, one of the problems in America is as soon as they train the troops, they kick them out and send them back to their planets. What do you think about that as a policy for America?
They're cannon fodder.
Now, I know the Death Star is quite a bit of an intergalactic floating city. What do you think about Silicon Valley executives building a floating city to get around the immigration laws off the coast of California?
Well, if you remember, there was this city called Cloud City, something very similar. So, not necessarily a bad thing.
In closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say about this country's immigration policy?
Join the empire.
Okay, so in closing, this is Clark Kent, I'm the Predatory Lending Network, signing out. Now, this is Clark Kent, I'm the Predatory Lending Network, coming to you because Mark Zuckerberg is on this campaign for immigration reform in America. So I'm talking to folks today about this. What do you think about America's immigration policy today?
I think we have plenty of laws, they just need to be enforced.
Now, one of the big debates is with unskilled labor. There's quite a bit of talk about not wanting unskilled labor, but Silicon Valley has a real shortage of finding skilled engineers and stuff like that, and they're trying to lobby Congress to get more skilled engineers because we educated them, kick them out. What do you think about that?
Quite frankly, I think we have a big enough job pool here that they should be pulling from people in the United States. I think the people coming out of schools and stuff should be further educated and do like doctors do, have an apprentice program.
Now, one of the problems in America is they don't have enough skilled engineers and people in science and technology fields, and employers are saying there just isn't enough interest with American students in that subject. So if we're limited with just American workers, how do we get more skilled engineers?
Well, you offer them equal pay and you offer them job security. Right now, there's no job security in the United States. You don't work for yourself, and even that's not secure. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You've got to have job security. If you don't have job security and good pay, you're not going to get the best skilled workers. You'll get the people that are from overseas that work cheap, but you won't get the quality of the quality. Right now, just answering the phone, you get, every time you answer a phone, it's a foreigner, somewhere in some other country.
Now, there's quite the debate over skilled and unskilled immigrants. Do you think there's a double standard with that?
I believe that we need the unskilled as well on farms and ranches and stuff and doing labor that the Americans won't do. So unskilled labor is necessary, in restaurants, farms, in the community where people don't want to do that kind of small type of menial work. I think that's where the unskilled labor comes in. They fill a gap.
So in closing, is there any last minute things you'd like to say to the folks?
Yeah, no more gun control. Get off our ass about the Constitution, and goodbye Obama.
So in closing, this is Clark Kent. I'm the Predatory Lending Network, signing out.